53 games into the season, and the Astros haven't played the A's yet. This is weird. This is not an Astros season because the A's are one of the Astros' biggest competitors since coming to the American League. We'll talk about this and more on this edition of the Locked On Astros podcast.
Jainel Diaz, this is Locked On Astros.
Hello and welcome to Locked On Astros, your daily Astros podcast. Here are your hosts, Eric the Man Huysman and Brett H-Town Wheelhouse Chansey.
We are Locked On Houston Astros. We update you. Join us for a daily Locked On Astros podcast. My name is Eric Huysman. You can find me on X at Eric Talkstros. Find the show at Locked On Astros, your team every day. And we got some competition in here. We feel like giving some airtime to maybe a team that's homeless right now, so to speak. Boonie, where can they find you at?
Best place to find me at is on X. Simple as can be. Locked On A's, just like it sounds. LOCKEDONAS.
All right. Well, thank you for joining Locked On Astros. This is a crossover. I know it's only a 2-game series, not a 4-game series, not a 3-game series, but a 2-game series. And like we were talking about before the show, it's weird that this is the first time the Astros and A's have played all season. I know this is a season where the A's are kind of in the middle of transition. Yes, they did add some more free agents, and they are playing some young players. And we'll talk about one of the young players that's really impressive for the A's this year, but the A's are in transition from going from Oakland to Sacramento, then eventually going to Vegas. But for right now, you're playing in a minor league ballpark. Is that right?
Yeah, we are playing in Sacramento, Sutter Health Park, which is the minor league ballpark of the San Francisco Giants.
So this is going to be a interesting matchup. The A's have lost a lot of games in a row. I don't want to bring up bad memories, but how many games so far?
11. We lost 11 in a row. We got a win yesterday, though, against the Phillies. We came from behind to break that skid, hoping that takes us and have a little bit more momentum going into the king of the AL West, the Astros.
Oh, well, thank you.
You're welcome.
The Mariners are technically the king right now, but thank you.
It's been your division for years.
Yes, I understand what you're saying there, but the Astros find themselves 1.5 games behind the Mariners, but just a week ago or so, the Astros were looking up at the A's. And so it's just weird how the AL West, we'll talk about the AL West a little bit more down the road, but this is a team, the Astros team, is trying to find itself, kind of like the A's are going with some younger players. The Astros lost Alex Bregman. They lost Kyle Tucker, and they've brought in some other players. I know you and I were talking about Isaac Brady's and Christian Walker, but the Astros made some big additions. They've also lost some big players, but the Astros are starting to find their way offensively. And one big thing that the Astros are missing right now is Yordan Alvarez and home run power all around. And the Astros had 24 hits in this weekend series, and they were all singles. I think it was Mauricio Dubon that broke that single streak with a double. So the Astros have found all of a sudden they're in a power drought. And the A's, they're not having the same issue. You're hitting some home runs. I believe you're like 10th in the league in home runs.
Yeah, we're up there in home runs, and we're hitting the ball. We're not driving in runs, and the bullpen has been an absolute mess. We're giving up runs late. I mean, in the 11-game losing streak, I would say 8 of them were 50-50 games. I'll give you an example. On Saturday night, we were 5 for 21 with runners in scoring position. We're hitting the ball a ton, but that's been kind of a sum up of the whole 11 games, getting runners on base, getting them in scoring position, putting ourselves in a place where we could break the game open. Haven't done so. Hand it over to the bullpen, give up a big lead, and that's how it's been. It was nice to get the win yesterday, that's for sure, against a really good Phillies team.
Yeah, so we'll talk about the matchup in a second, but I want to correct myself. They're 8th in the league in home runs with, 67. The Astros are all the way down to 19th with 49. Yeah. And when you think of an Astros team, you think of home runs because they had the big boppers. But now 3 of those guys are gone. And so you have some guys that are finding their way. And I think that Christian Walker, he may have found something, whether it's wearing his socks higher or changing lockers or shaving the mustache or the goatee, whatever he's trying to do to get things working. Maybe he's found that power again that the Astros wanted to bring here. Isaac Paredes is looking a lot better. But let's talk a little bit about this series. So the first game, it's going to be Hunter Brown, which is not just the Astros' best pitcher, but he's one of the best pitchers in baseball. And I know that I was looking at MLB Network, and they had him on top of everybody else. And this is including Tariq Skubal. So I think that the A's have a tough matchup. JP Sears is a left-hander. The Astros have struggled against lefties. So this year with I believe they're batting below 200 versus lefties. So tell us a little bit about JP Sears.
JP Sears, he is coming into the season. He developed himself as the ace of our staff last year in the second half. A's had a great second half last year, and our best pitcher was JP Sears. We received JP Sears in the Frankie Montas trade from the Yankees a few years back, and he's really starting to develop into his own. If there's one pitcher I want to go to, it's JP Sears. With that being said, he's had tough outings in his last two go-abouts, right? Hasn't pitched the best. One time against the Angels, I believe it was, and the other time against the Giants, he struggled, which is unlikely. So I'm hoping that trend kind of comes to an end. But at the same time, I mean, geez, we're going against Hunter Brown. Now, let me ask you a question. Are you surprised with Hunter Brown's success so far this year?
No, I can't say I am. I think that we've seen the development last year. He started off bad. He had, I believe, one game where he lasted 2/3 of innings, gave up 9 runs. But he figured it out last year. And I think towards the end of the season, we saw the Hunter Brown that we expected. And I think that when he first came in the league, he came in as a reliever. And so there's a lot of things that expected him to be the next ace. And I think right now he is the Astros ace. I know Framber Valdez is still here, but right now with the way that Hunter Brown is pitching, he's exceeding, I think, even any scouts' expectations. He's just going out there dominating. He has the stuff. He has the just everything to just control the game. And he has just the mental, like some people would say that Framber Valdez's big issue is when something goes bad, or let's say a double play doesn't get made or a catch is dropped, something goes bad, he tends to unravel a little bit. But Hunter Brown just goes out there and gets it done. Yes, he had a bad game. His last game, I gave up 5 runs in 5 innings, 3 home runs. But overall, I think that he is maturing into a guy that's going to make a lot of money, and he's going to lead the Astros staff for a while. But talking about blast and past, Lance McCullers versus Luis Severino in Wednesday's game.
Yeah.
I mean, who would have thought, that Lance McCullers would be back to pitching, and who would have thought that Luis Severino would be pitching for the A's, honestly?
Yeah. Also, Louis, you're absolutely right. Who would have known? Severino has what's the best way to describe Severino? Has the best ERA, I believe, one of the best top ERAs in baseball on the road. It's under 1. Okay. On the road, at home, it's been a completely different story. Severino is who Severino is, right? He is a bulldog. He's going to pound you. He's going to fight you. He's going to eat up innings. The big thing with Severino, can he stay around the zone, right? Can he stay around the zone and challenge Astro hitters? If he's all over the place and he's putting runners on base and the Astros get the pitch count up, it's going to be a tough day for him. But if he continues this type of success like he has on the road, it's going to be a hell of a game. It's going to be a heck of a game.
The problem with the Astros this year is they have been a lot more aggressive. Strikeouts are up. You don't have a patient hitter like Alex Bregman there. You don't have Kyle Tucker there. But you have you have Jeremy Pena, who's leading off for the Astros. Who would have thought that Jose Altuve would be playing left field and not leading off? And he's even being demoted to batting third. And I know that sounds weird that typically you put your best hitter there, but Altuve's always led off or hit second. And so it's a weird situation to see Altuve batting third, but it seems to be working for him because he was in this big slump, and sometimes you just have to find a way to get the job done. And that's what Joe Espada has been doing. So guys, we'll go and continue this conversation. Thank you for making Locked On Astros podcast your first listen every day. Hey guys, let's go and talk about Supply House. Supply House is, I'm about to get into the safety and health field, but you can get all the tools you need from the site, from that skilled trade people use, like Supply House. Whether you're in plumbing, HVAC, or electrical work, Supply House is a reliable way to purchase products online. Their easy to use website is packed with helpful resources and all the latest product info that can help you get the job right. Plus, with a complete inventory of over 200,000 parts from 400 plus top brands, you'll find exactly what you need, delivered fast from coast to coast for whatever job you need. Need help with the order? Supply House offers expert support and industry leading support, so you always talk to a real person, not just AI or a computer voice. So, and trade pros looking for extra edge, their free Trade Master program offers exclusive perks like dedicated phone line, free shipping, and discounts on every order. So join the Trade Master program today at supplyhouse.com/TM and start ordering plumbing, HVAC, and and electrical supplies with just a few clicks. Just use the promo code SH5 for 5% off your first order. That's supplyhouse.com. Hey guys, thank you for making the Locked On Astros podcast your first listen. Whether it's on YouTube, go ahead, subscribe to us, make us first listen, Apple, Odyssey, Spotify, wherever you listen to your podcasts. Go and check us out. And if you believe in charity, just imagine a whole state of California or Oakland, or maybe a little neighborhood in Oakland, jumping off of this guy's podcast. So go ahead and make him your second listen. But Booney, I do want to talk to you about that. That is kind of a weird situation with the A's moving to Sacramento and eventually moving to Vegas. First of all, when is that move to Vegas supposed to happen? And how has the A's audience kind of reacted to the move?
Well, what audience are we talking about right now? So, but here's the issue. So coming into the season, obviously there was a lot of contention with regard to the A's move and going to Vegas and playing in a minor league ballpark. And I had the attitude and there has been, as you can imagine, and has seen it, tons of negativity. The A's right now, for the most part, really does not have a fan base. Sacramento, the ownership, management, however you want to put it, has not adopted or embraced Sacramento. Good example is not taking Sacramento as a team name in front of them, just being called the Athletics. Oakland obviously hates the A's, wants nothing to do with them, and Vegas is still 3 years away. So we're kind of caught in limbo. Coming into the season, I thought, and here's a scenario and an analogy Astro fans can appreciate. It's not the same, but they can kind of relate to it. I thought it was going to be similar to the 2021 Astros and the 2022 Astros in the sense of coming off the whole, the garbage can and everything and the scandal they had going. It was an attitude of, with the Astros in those seasons, that I took it as, from the outside looking in, as, hey, it is what it is. There's nothing we can do about it. You can be as loud as you want. But what that did was make them tougher. It made them more of a competitor, and it made them more of like us against the world. And you saw a team come together. Again, I'm not comparing to the A's talent with regard to that, but I did think that the move to Sacramento and the negativity would have brought this team more together. It's done the opposite. We're not a tough team. We're a soft team. We've made excuses with regard to the stadium. It is what it is with regard to the stadium, right? We can't control what happened, but you have a job to do on the field, and they have not done it. We made some major moves in the last couple of days with bringing up some minor league players and DFAing a veteran and sending another veteran down to the minor leagues. We had a huge win against the Phillies. So we'll see. So I'm very interested to see how this young A's team comes into Houston and plays a division rival. We've done okay against the division so far this year, but it's been rough right now in A's Nation, if you want to call it, more like A's, maybe little city for right now. It's been tough. We don't have much of a fan base, and the team needs to come together and needs to have the attitude of us against the world, kind of like that Astro team did.
Yeah, and just looking from the outside in on the A's team, it's exciting. I mean, of course, I'm an Astros fan, but looking at what the A's are doing, they're doing it with younger players. You're calling up some younger prospects, and Astros fans, we would love to have some of these young prospects on our team. We'll talk about Cam Smith and Jacob Wilson a little bit later on, but the Astros just don't have the prospect depth that the A's do and other teams do, but the future could be bright. It just depends on what the ownership decides to do with the A's. Like, are they going to keep the team together, or are they? I do like the fact that they brought in some veterans this year. I think they had to spend money.
They had to spend money. Yeah, it wasn't something in order to. Let's not make any. They had to make it in order to avoid a grievance from the Players Association. So let's call it what it is. Yeah.
Yeah, so whether they had to, but they did do that. And there are a couple teams that didn't really make a lot of moves this offseason. The A's did what they needed to do to put a product on a team on the field. I don't know if it's going to win, but it was above the Astros at one point. They did have that 11-game losing streak. Sure. But this team does look like it's going to have some good talent in the future. And so, I mean, there's a first baseman. I can't.
Nick Kurtz. Nick Kurtz. Yeah. 4th overall pick of last year's draft from Wake Forest. Yeah. Unbelievable.
Yes. I think that he's going to have a bright future once he figures out. He's still struggling, but that's kind of what Cam Smith is going through. He's kind of coming out of it, but you've got to give these young guys playing time. And that's what the A's have the luxury of doing, because they're 7 games out, or is it 9 games out?
No, they're 7 out. They're 7 out of the West. I think 6 out of the wild card.
Okay. So the A's have always seemed to have the Astros number. They always, no matter what their record is, they play the Astros well. And I know somebody in the chat earlier said, well, that was the Oakland A's. We don't know how the Sacramento A's are going to do. So come at Dyken Park. That's a new change since the last time you played the Astros. Sure. Dyken Park, the new name change. But what do you think the A's are going to bring to Dyken Park? And what do you think about the Astros looking from the outside?
The big thing with the Astros right now is getting the big fella back, right? Jordan. I mean, he is the heart of that lineup. He's been the heart of that team for years. He is he's what makes the Astros tick. So as soon as he gets off the IL and starts being the beast he is, the Astros is going to get back to winning. Altuve needs to be Altuve, right? And he's been struggling a little bit. How has he been in left field?
He's actually looking pretty good. He's made some mistakes earlier in the season, but he's learned from them. He still has issues throwing to the wrong base. Like the other day, he threw the third base when he should have thrown to second base, but he made a great catch. He's looking really good. We also have Cam Smith in the right field that has 4 outs above replacement and leading Major League Baseball in right field as a rookie, somebody that didn't play right field ever before this season. So, but Jose Altuve has done what he was asked to do and made that adjustment.
So the A's are going to bring a couple players to look for as far as Astros fans. Jacob Wilson, look for him at shortstop. He is 2nd right now in baseball in batting average. He brings an old school approach of high elite bat to ball type of contact. He's hitting over 350. Unreal. Great shortstop. Reminds me of a young Derek Jeter, if you want to make a comparison to him. The other guy I want you to keep an eye out, who we just brought up on Friday. Now, he can't hit worth a lick. He was 0 for 10 with 9 strikeouts against the Phillies. But I'm telling you, Eric, Keep an eye on this guy. This guy right now is a platinum glove type level center fielder defensively. Different level. Like I said, he can't hit a lick, but defensively, he could have some sparks. We're a good team. I believe in this team. I still think this team is really, really good from top to bottom. I like our personnel. I like our roster. Our starting lineup for the most part, I believe, is 5 or 6 first-round draft picks. We're good. We went into a little bit of a skid, sure, and it was a tough stretch of baseball we played against. But I like the talent. I'm not done believing in it. We got to toughen up. We got to accept the fact of where we're playing and say, hey, it is what it is. I like our roster. I think it's going to be a hell of a 2 games. I'm extremely, extremely excited about it. And I think the Astros are the champs and are the team you have to beat until they're not. And when you have a legitimate ace like Hunter Brown, who I didn't see coming, I thought he was going to be good. I thought he was going to be like 3.12 ERA good. I didn't see low 2 good. When you could turn to that type of pitcher, geez, that's tough. And only our luck that we have to face him. So we're going to see what happens. But yeah, real lucky not to have the big fella in the lineup. And I think Christian Walker, I love that pickup as well. I mean, you have a Gold Glover at first base there, and the bat's going to come with him. It's a scary team.
Hey guys, thank you for making Locked On Astros and Locked On A's your first listen. We're going to take a short break. We'll go and continue this conversation. Hey guys, thank you for making Locked On Astros podcast your first listen every day, whether it's on YouTube. Go ahead and subscribe to us. Make us first listen. Apple, Odyssey, Spotify, wherever you listen to your podcast, go and check us out. Go and check out Boonie over at the Locked On A's podcast as well. If you want to hear all about the young prospects over there at A's country, I think that's resides in Sacramento now and eventually Vegas in 3 years. But there's some interesting prospects to listen to. So I know that what's kind of bogging my mind is the A's were ahead of the Astros and now they're way down below. I know a 11-game losing streak will do that, but what doesn't make sense is the AL West right now. It seems like nobody wants to win. There's only 2 teams above 500 right now, the Mariners and the Astros. What do you think is the pair, and really across baseball? You got in the AL East, you got 1 team above 500. You got a whole bunch of teams in AL Central. But it seems like parity has finally arrived in Major League Baseball.
Yeah, 100%. I mean, each time I look at the AL West, I think what I was surprised with the AL West is Texas's pitching. I didn't see the type of rotation they would have in their hitting. They just can't hit right now. It seems like the Rangers and the Mariners have kind of switched bodies, switched teams with just different uniforms. And then the Angels, I mean, we just got swept by the Angels. I mean, I just saw a team out there that's young, that's talented, that has a ton of fight in them. And then they just lost a couple games, I believe, lost a series to the Marlins, I want to say. I don't know what to make of it, man. I mean, right now, for me, when I'm looking at it, obviously, with the Mariners, they're getting their pitching healthy with Kirby coming back, and I believe Gilbert's coming back soon as well. And if they keep hitting the way they're hitting, they're going to be scary. But every time I think I know something, it goes the opposite way. I'm scared to death to even make even close to a prediction. I mean, it's so way off. Just pick the opposite of whatever I think. That's for sure.
And with the Angels, it's hard to know what type of team they really are because Mike Trout can't seem to stay healthy. He's having a monster year, then he gets hurt again. I don't know if he's back yet, but
no, he's still out.
Yeah, so he's still out. So the Rangers, they have a great pitching staff, but they can't hit. And so with the Astros, they have a semi-okay pitching staff. Bullpen is surprisingly good. It's when the A's face the Astros bullpen, you're going to be surprised how good these arms are. And these are not your big dollar guys. Well, of course you have Josh Hader out there, and Brian Abreu, but the other guys are a bunch of nobodies, and they're going out there and getting job done. Brian Keane is probably one of the Astros' best pitchers this year, and he was a Rule 5 minor league Rule 5 pick from I believe it was the Red Sox. But so the Astros have patched together a lot because they were waiting to decide what to do with Alex Bregman, and then they kind of moved on. They moved on from Ryan Presley, and now it's kind of good that they moved on from Ryan Presley. But Dana Brown had to make a lot of decisions this offseason to kind of decide whether you're going to go and keep on with what we have, or go ahead and try to not rebuild, but retool. And so he decided to retool. And one of the bullpen was one of the things he retooled. And so you're going to be surprised about that. But otherwise, I don't think a lot of Astros fans say Memorial Day is a day where the Astros tend to turn it on like that.
Yeah.
So we'll see.
Yeah.
We'll see what the real team is. And hopefully the A's play a little bit better baseball after, not when they're playing the Astros, of course, but because the A's just seem to have the Astros number, and I don't want them to play good baseball against us, of course. But one thing I want to talk about before we end the show is the two rookie year candidates. I know Christian Campbell with the Red Sox. He's a guy that a lot of people, he's kind of the sexy pick, but Jacob Wilson is the guy that's getting it done. And I know you compared him to Tony Gwynn the other day.
Derek Jeter, yeah.
Derek Jeter, okay.
Same type of style. Obviously, he's not to that level, but when you see him
early in his career,
you'll see some similarities.
Yeah. So, do you think that Jacob Wilson can continue this pace that he's on?
It's hard in today's baseball world, right? Where it is simply a power game, right? Power arm versus power hitter. It depends. If Tristan Campbell is going to put up any type of comparable power numbers, it's going to be him. In order for Jacob Wilson to take over an average power year, he's going to have to hit 360, 350, 360, which is tough. He's in 350 right now, and it is really, really difficult to do that. So if I had to pick somebody on a neutral type of deal right now, I have Wilson edging out Campbell. With that being said, that's Wilson hitting 350 right now with 6 bombs. He has a little pop too, 5 bombs. And he plays a really, really good shortstop. So if I had to handicap it as a neutral individual, Wilson. But if Wilson, let's say, goes down to 335, it's Tristan Campbell.
I know that Cam Smith, a lot of people didn't really think of him making the Astros to start the season, but he did. This is something that the Astros don't normally do. Last year, he was in college, and now he's in the Astros playing a different position. And this just goes against everything that Joe Espada has said in past, but he really played his way into it in spring training. He didn't really get off to the start that you would have wanted as an Astros fan, but see, he still has a chance to be a dark horse into this rookie year.
Absolutely. Yeah, right. No, he does.
And so in the last 14 games, he's 14 for 47 with a 362 batting average. And he's making a lot of great plays in right field. And he's got athleticism. He's got speed. I don't know if he's going to steal a lot of bases, but he's got speed out there. So I think once the power comes, because he's capable of hitting 20, 25 home runs. Once that really comes, I think that Cam Smith will enter into the conversation. But
no question.
A player like Jacob Wilson, like I said, he's not the sexy guy because he's going to get you batting average. He's going to get you OPS, but he's probably not going to hit you a lot of home runs. But he's going to do if he was on the Astros team, he would probably be a big help because he's what the Astros are missing. They don't have a lot of players hitting above 300. And so I think a lot of teams would love to have a player like Jacob Wilson.
Of course. What teams do these days have players hitting over 300, though? You know what I mean? It's such a different game.
Yeah. So I know that he's going to have to continue this, and the league eventually figures you out. They get the book on you. And so he's going to have to adjust to the pitchers as they adjust to him. And that's going to be how he makes that adjustment will determine if he gets that award. But from what I've seen, he seems to be very mature for his age and able to handle this situation. But where do you see the Astros finishing? Do you see them finishing in first place or second place? And which team would finish ahead of them if you think second?
That's a heck of a question. I got the Astros winning the AL West in a very, very tight race with the Mariners. I'm not quitting on the A's quite yet. I think also the the wild card is wide open. I do believe the person that sneaks into the I do think that the team that does sneak into the wild card from the AL is going to go in with like an 81 record, 82-80. So if you stick around the 500 mark, okay, you're going to have a shot to get to the playoffs. And at the end of the day, that's what's most important. We'll see. But again, I believe in this A's team. I like the personnel. There's no way I'm quitting on them. And still think they could make a run. If they toughen up, they're going to be as good as anybody.
All right, looking at this series specifically, do you think the A's will split it? What do you think about this outcome?
It's going to be tough to get Hunter Brown. You know, it's going to be extremely hard to get Hunter Brown. I think that game is going to come down to it. It's going to be a tight game. I think JP Sears is going to have a hell of a game. And at the end of the day, it's going to be a one-run game. It's going to be a pitcher's duel. It's going to come down to the late innings, okay?
Yeah.
We'll see what happens. I'd like Severino on in game 2 against McCullers. I think they feel good about hitting it's not Hunter Brown. And I think they're good with their success against the Astros, with a hungry A's team, with a young A's team that's starting to turn things around. Hopefully, we'll see. I think they're going to get game 2. So I'll say a split for right now and see what happens. And I'm open for that. If you tell me split right now, I'll marry it. Get down on one knee and marry it.
All right. Well, against right-handed starters, the Astros are batting .258 with a .713 OPS. Against left-handed starters, they're batting .217 with a .661 OPS. So granted, they haven't had as many starts against left-handed pitching this year, only 5, but that is a noticeable difference in the splits there. So Sears may have the advantage there because the Astros just don't seem to hit well against lefties. But I think that it just depends on how good Hunter Brown does. Yeah. If he has a game where he gives up 5 runs, then the Astros are going to have a hard time coming up with those 5 runs if they're struggling against the left-handers. But so I think that it just depends on which Astros team shows up. Is it the team that looked as confident as they did against the Mariners, or is it could be the team that struggled to score runs against the Rays? And it just depends. And I know as a young team, you probably struggle with the same thing, but runners in scoring position and bases loaded this year, the Astros are worst in batting average with bases loaded this year. So it's crazy.
Yeah, it's rough. I mean, don't tell me about bases loaded. What got to 11-game win streak, we had bases loaded, no outs in the 10th, and we couldn't get the run home.
Yeah. All right. Well, Booney, thank you for joining the Locked On Astros podcast. Go and tell us a little bit about yourself and your podcast.
Like I said, Locked On A's, LOCKEDONAS is the best way to get a hold of me on X, Twitter, whatever you want to call it these days. And we're covering the A's every single day. We're breaking down the games. We're giving you good insight. Obviously, with the A's, the big thing is the prospects. We cover the draft. We cover a little bit of college baseball. We'll have some mock drafts coming up soon. But that's what's kind of exciting about the A's. We try to do everything with regard to them. We cover a lot of AAA and minor leagues, and of course the season and the rest of the division.
All right. Well, thanks again for joining us. And thank you guys for making Locked On Astros and Locked On A's your first listen every day, whether it's on YouTube. Go ahead, subscribe to us, and we will see you tomorrow. And hopefully we'll be talking about a victory over Boonie's A's. So,
thanks, Eric. Thanks, guys.